International Women's Day this year, we are happy to have with us for a special segment, Dr. RUKHSANA AHMED.
Welcome to MCTV. Can you briefly introduce yourself to our audience?
It is a pleasure and an honor to be talking to you on this remarkable day. So I am an associate professor in the Department of Communication at the University at Albany, State University of New York. I'm also an adjunct professor at the University of Ottawa in the Department of Communication in Canada. And my research primarily examines the role of communication, culture, media, and technology in shaping health outcomes among marginalized communities and promoting broader organizational and social changes and innovations in local, national, and international health contexts.
What is the theme for International Women's Day 2023, and why was it chosen?
So as we know, the theme for this year's International Women's Day is DigitALL, Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality. So it highlights the role of innovative technology in promoting gender equality. As we know that women have made and continue to make untold contributions in areas such as computing, virtual reality, and artificial intelligence. But unfortunately, these contributions are often not welcomed or appreciated, but they still continue to work against all odds. So this year's theme is to champion gender equality for women and girls.
What are some examples of innovations and technologies that can help promote gender equality?
I can talk to you about some of the efforts that the organization UN Women has been supporting. So one initiative is called African Girls Can Code initiative, which builds digital skills and momentum towards a better future. The other example could be Hidden App gives women in Serbia a safer alternative for reporting violence. Another noteworthy innovation is the We Rise app bridges generations to promote gender equality through gaming. So this is an edutainment app aimed at raising awareness on gender equality and women's empowerment, and it covers the Middle East and Northern Africa MENA region. So by ensuring access to these wonderful technologies out there, and also by ensuring that women become end users, their experiences are being considered and taken into account into designing, and also allowing skills to develop for these women are actually at the cornerstone of making sure that these innovations and inventions can help them to continue towards the path of gender equality.
How can we ensure that technological advancements are inclusive of all genders and do not reinforce gender stereotypes?
Yes, this is a good point. So we know that traditionally women face some noteworthy challenges when they enter the technology industry. So because the tech industry is mainly male-dominated field, so as a result, only a few women would occasionally made it to the top positions. So because of that contextual setting, there are lack of mentors. So we need to ensure that these women who are entering the tech industry, they can look up to mentors and female role models. Also, because there is a lack of these role models, then as we know that in any other workplace, there is gender bias. And the tech industry is actually not free of that. Also, there is an unequal growth opportunity compared to men, and not to mention unequal pay for the same skills. So by ensuring that we tackle and address these with innovative solutions, we can ensure that there is an inclusive process, a holistic approach to promoting gender equality in this sector.
Dr. RUKHSANA Ahmedh, you just mentioned a lot of challenges facing women and girls in the digital economy. How can these challenges be addressed?
Yes, and those challenges can, as we move on to speaking about that, I would like to also champion some names in the tech industry, which probably oftentimes we don't hear. And just by acknowledging that these women made their way into the tech industry through invention and innovation is praiseworthy and should be promising. So BizTech publication did a feature to highlight a group of women for their contributions in technology through invention and innovation some years back. So some of the names are Susan Kerr in user interface. She was the designer who helped bring the Apple computer to life with her sophisticated typography and iconic graphic design skills. Then you have women like Hedy Lamarr in wireless. Although she was largely known as a screen star of the 1920s, she played a key role in the invention of spread spectrum technology, which was originally designed to help the Navy remotely control torpedoes. Then you have Navy Rear Admiral like Grace Hopper, who helped invent some of the early English language programming languages. Then in algorithm, you have women like Ada Lovelace, who was unique in that she developed an algorithm for a computer that didn't even exist at that time. So this accomplishment qualifies her as the world's first computer programmer. Then you have Mary Lou Jepson in screen display. She co-founded and served as the chief technology officer of Microdisplay in 1995 and worked on to creating small screens. You have women like Roberta Williams in gaming. She was a pioneer and visionary in creating and popularizing PC games with complex puzzles and detailed storylines. Then you have women like Radia Perlman in networking. She was a network engineer who helped make Ethernet technology a household name. You have women like Dr. Erna Hoover in telephony. She invented a telephony switching computer program that kept phones functioning under stressful loads. You have Marissa Mayers in search engine. She was actually considered Google's first female engineer back in 1999 when it was still a startup. And then you have women like Barbara Liskov. She in computing. She is one of the first women to earn a computer science PhD. So it's not like that women have not been making contribution. They have been working against all odds. And I guess, through recognition and creating more opportunities for women today, we can create a better, hopefully, hope to strive towards a gender equal digital space.
Let's talk about technology at the lowest level. How can digital literacy programs help bridge the gender gap and improve access for women and girls?
Yes, this is a very good point. So first, we have to make sure that these women and girls, they have access to the knowledge out there, like you rightly mentioned. Then there should be programs like digital literacy programs to help them realize the skills that they have to hone those skills, and also given them the needed expertise and given them the opportunity to fully potentially realize their skills that they need to grow, sustain, and scale up. So an inclusive design is important. So inclusive design includes diverse voices, stakeholders, in particular, as you rightly mentioned, those of young people, and those who are in vulnerable states and in marginalized positions. Even sometimes, whose human rights can be threatened. So they need to be given access to this wealth of knowledge when digital technology is concerned. Also, we need to think about an intersectional lens, which takes into consideration the multidimensionality of people's lived experiences. So many women, like you rightly pointed out, and girls live in those conditions, and their lived experiences could be really unique. So we need to recognize the prevalent power dynamics and systems inequality to make sure that they are not left behind. They're taken together. They can join forces to utilize digital technologies, platforms, and tools. But they also need to be made safe and inclusive and accessible from the very start, because oftentimes these women and girls who are in vulnerable state and marginalized positions, they could even be in refugee camps. So obviously, when digital inclusion is concerned, or digital access to digital tools and knowledge and skills are concerned, they don't have equal opportunities as the male counterpart. So all of these issues need to be taken into account when designing for inclusive digital platforms.
Let's talk now about money. How can the gender gap in funding for female-led startups be addressed, and what solutions exist to bridge this gap?
Well, that's a very important aspect that you highlight. So I guess everyone needs to come together. All stakeholders, and there has been much discourse and writing about a gender responsive approach to innovation, which means going beyond acknowledging that there is this need for gender equality in innovation and acting, and ensuring that women actually play a key role at every phase. So if big techs, governments, policymakers, they adopt a gender-sensitive approach to innovation, I think, we could be seeing solutions in that direction. As I mentioned, opportunities should be given to women and girls who may not have had the opportunity to actually demonstrate the skills they have, but give them the opportunity, create situations, platforms for them where they can realize those goals. And for that, you need to have, like you rightly mentioned, startups, design innovations that include also women as end users, tailor innovations to the needs of women. Also, a data-driven approach is important. So, gather data that would speak to these women out there, their conditions, and the inequality that they face. And then, work towards sustainable solutions to meet the needs of women and girls.
Nowadays, we can't talk about technology without mentioning artificial intelligence. How can the use of artificial intelligence be leveraged to promote gender equality and reduce biases in decision-making?
That's a very important question. So, as I respond to this question, I also would like to bring your attention to some stats that UN Women made a feature on called In Focus for this year's International Women's Day, and it was published in March 1st. So they published that women make up only 22% of artificial intelligence workers globally. And also a global analysis of 133 AI systems across industries found that 44.2% demonstrate gender bias. So obviously we have an inherent problem here. Gender bias in terms of oftentimes, as I mentioned earlier, not including women as end users. So, and how this happens if women don't have access to these digital tools, the digital space. How can you gather data as user experience when women use concerned, right? Because to begin with, and as you said, we need to go to the grassroots level. We need to start with not a top-down, but a bottom-up approach. So we actually don't know their lived experiences. We don't know what unique needs they have. So as end users, you don't have them. And also there's this gender bias that probably women are not interested in these areas. The top 10, like the famous women that I just talked about, many of us don't know. And, the lack of female role models actually creates another problem because we are not able to properly motivate those women and girls into coming to these sectors. We know the underrepresented STEM situation. So, but at the same time, we also know that these technologies, the AI, artificial intelligence, opening new doors for empowering women, girls, and other marginalized groups. But there has to be a gender responsive approach to tech facilitated programs. So we do know that persistent gender gap in digital access bars women from realizing their full potential when contributing to technology or AI related fields. As we also know that they're underrepresented in STEM education and careers, which are major barriers to their participation in tech design and governance.
Dr. RUKHSANA Ahmed, I would like you end this interview with a message on International Women's Day. What is your message?
Yes, so I would say we need to join forces. We need to come together, work together, adopt a holistic approach to make the digital world safer, more inclusive, gender responsive, and more equitable for gender equality. And I would like to end with actually a quote to commemorate the International Women's Day today. So this quote is from Grace Hopper, who was a developer and a U.S. Navy Rear Admiral, one of the most influential women in the history of computer science. Once she said, and it's within quotes, "A ship in port is safe, but that is not what ships are for. Sail out to sea and do new things." So, this is a call to action that we need to realize the potential that women and girls out there have when digital technology is concerned.